I'm going to show you how you can share content from new quizzes to a colleague. Now, in the old quizzes, the easiest way to do this was to export your quiz as a QTI file, which is something I showed in one of my earlier videos. In this case, it's a little bit more complex. I can't export this content out as QTI in the same way that I did in the old quizzes. And so what I have to do is I have to go into the quiz and bank the questions and then share the bank with my colleague. One of the things that I would strongly recommend as a result of this is if you use new quizzes, which seems to be what we're being pushed to do, what you should do is bank your questions already. There are several reasons for this. One is you can share with your colleague, as we're going to do in this video. Another is we can share amongst our own courses. And so I'm going to go into a pre-lab. This pre-lab has 3 questions. One's an essay question, 2 are algorithmic questions, or at least Canvas's version. If I want to bank these questions, what I have to do is I have to edit them. So I'm going to click on the edit function, go down to the bottom, go to item banking, add to bank. In this particular case, I'm going to create a new item bank. So I'm going to call this heat of vaporization pre-lab. And then I hit add. Now, when I do this, I have the ability to edit the question in the bank now if I want to. I don't need to do anything with that. So I'm just going to say done. Now that question is banked. I can go to the next question and do the same thing. So I hit edit. I scroll down through the question. Now this is a much longer question because it has 200 data sets generated with it algorithmically. I go to item banking. I got to add to bank. Now this time I'm going to add to an existing bank because I created it for the last question. So I have to find it in this list. So I have to go down. These are alphabetical, so it should be down here. There it is. Select it and say add. Again, I get the same thing. I don't need to do anything more. Go down to the third question. Do the same thing. All the way down the bottom, item banking, add to bank. This time the bank is already selected, so I just say add, and I'm done. So I have banked all my questions. Now, if I go to the Manage Banks, by clicking on the 3 dots in the upper right, here are my banks. What I can do is I can share these banks with my colleagues now. So I can find the bank I just created. There it is. If I click this share, what I can do is I can type in my colleague's username for Canvas. It will search. There's the colleague I want. And what I can do now is say add. Now this colleague has access to this bank, and I'm done. I hope this was helpful.